What's going on, everybody? This is Instant Classic 8 here. Kind of a different video today, as you can see by the title. I'm going to talk about a sport that's, it's not wrestling, but it's pretty much, other than watching wrestling, it's pretty much the favorite thing I like to do, and that is the NBA. I love the NBA. I love it more than football and baseball. And tomorrow, the playoffs, my favorite time of the year. The NBA playoffs start. Unfortunately, I have to work all weekend, and I won't be able to see some of the games. In fact, I won't be able to see a lot of the games. So, that sucks. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on this year's playoffs. More importantly, the first round. I feel that just by the way the first round is shaping up, by the matchups and everything, I think it's going to be a great first round. You're going to see some upsets. Not too many, as I'll mention later. But let's just run it down. We're going to start in the East. The 8th seed, Atlanta Hawks, versus the number 1 seed, Boston Celtics. A lot of people think this is going to be a blowout. They think this is going to be a complete squash of the Hawks. A lot of people don't give any other East team a chance against the Celtics, but I actually think this is going to be a good series. I mean, the Hawks, yeah, they've been notorious for being a pretty sucky team, but they can light up the scoreboard with the best of them, and I think that's what's going to happen in this series right here. I'm not saying that they will, give Celtics a run for their money, but don't think you're going to see blowouts every single night, and don't be surprised if you see the Hawks win 1 or 2 games. You never know. We all remember what happened last year when we said one team is going to crush another team with the Mavericks and the Warriors, and we all know what happened there. So like I said, I'm picking the Celtics to win the series, but don't be surprised if Hawks get a game or 2 in there. Moving on to the next series, the number 7 seed, Philadelphia 76ers versus the number 2 Detroit Pistons. Detroit, I really don't like the team. It's just they got a good team. Richard Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Sheet Wallace, Tayshaun Prince. They got a good team, but it's just something about them that I really can't get into them. It's probably a couple of years ago when they beat my Lakers in the finals. I think I'm still heartbroken over that. Either way, this series is one-sided. There's no way the Sixers are going to beat the Pistons. Sixers, they really got nobody. Andre Iguodala, and that's pretty much it. So I'm picking Detroit. I'm picking Detroit in a sweep in 4 games. And by the way, I'm picking the Celtics to win the series 4-2. We're gonna go to the next playoff series, the number 6 seed Toronto Raptors versus the number 3 Orlando Magic. I used to be a crazy Magic fan back in the day. Then of course you know what happened with them. Now they're starting to get better. I really like Dwight Howard. I really like his play. I think this team has meshed well together. They got a great coach in Stan Van Gundy, and I think they're going to do good things in this first round. Toronto Raptors, kind of like the 76ers, they don't have too many guys on their team. They got some people, but they got a good coach. But I really don't see them beating the Magic at all. I'll give Raptors 1 game, maybe 2, but right now I'm going to want the Magic to win that series 4-1. And then we go to the series that for the past, 2-3 years, I think it's happened. 2 years, I think it is. And I have loved this series. The Washington Wizards versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm sorry. This should be a very, very, very good series. Of course, we all know Gilbert Arenas is coming off injury and everything. We're gonna see how he performs. But on another team, you got Jesus on the court, as I like to call him, LeBron James. The guy's a menace. His team, they've gotten a little better this year with the trade with Ben Wallace and everything. I think they kind of lost some steps when they traded away Drew Gooden. But like I said, this team's pretty good. They got a good coach in Mike Brown. This is going to be a very, very contested series, and I think it's going to go all 7 games, in my opinion. And I think Cavaliers are going to go ahead and take it 4-3 and move on to the second round. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the West. My favorite conference, and I'll tell you why. Starting off with the first series of game, the number 8 Denver Nuggets versus the number 1 Los Angeles Lakers. The number 1 seed. No one picked the Lakers. Oh, I love them. No one picked them to be anywhere near the top of the conference, and they ended up number 1. Who would have thought of it? I didn't even think of it, and I was surprised. But anyway, let's get to the series. Honestly, I can't talk too much about this series without me being biased. I am so biased towards the Lakers. I don't care. I will trash any other team. Like, if you want to talk about the Nuggets, they have no chance of winning this series because they have a freaking 35-year-old has-been who can't drive the paint anymore and are drunk on their team as their stars and thinking they can beat the Lakers. Lakers got Kobe Bryant. They made wonders when they got the trade with Paul Gasol. Lamar Odom's a good role player, and then you got Derek Fisher who can hit threes like crazy. Luke Walton, who's a good role player. There's no chance Denver's beating this team, not at all. I'm picking Lakers in 4. Denver, they'll probably sneak one in on and when they get the home court and everything, probably right around Game 4 maybe, when they're in that do or die situation. But I'm picking the Lakers 4 games to 1. For them to move on to the second round. Now that's over, let's move on. The number 7 Dallas Mavericks versus the number 2 New Orleans Hornets. Once again, like I said, no one really picked the Hornets to be anywhere near the top. They were battling for the last 3 weeks with the Lakers for the top spot. The Lakers and the Spurs. The Mavericks, we all remember what happened to them last year. I'm pretty sure they want to make up for that. The Mavericks, they got a stacked team with Nowitzki, and they did wonders with Jason Kidd with that trade. They had Jerry Stackhouse, Josh Howard, Devin Jones, let's not mention him, Jason Terry. They got a good team there, but you got potential MVP Chris Paul. Then you got All-Star David West, you got Tyson Chandler, you got Peja Stojakovic, you got Bonzi Wells, you got Morris Peterson, who I've liked over the years with him being with the Rockets. This is going to be a very, very good series. My picks in this is very hard, but I'm going to go ahead and say New Orleans in 6 games. I give Mavericks a game at home and a game away, but I think New Orleans with Chris Paul, like I said, he's just a beast, and I don't see anybody, I don't see the Mavericks at least beating them, so I see the Mavericks moving on. Then we go to the number 6 seed, which, by the way, this is probably the series more than the Wizards and the Cavs that I want to see, and that's the Phoenix Suns versus San Antonio Spurs. This is I'm saying right now, this is going 7 games. There's no way it's not going 7 games. Kind of like I said with the Lakers and the Hornets, no one saw Phoenix to be this low at the bottom. Same with the Mavericks. Like I said, this has been a weird year. I'm kind of glad it's like this, so you get to see more teams at the top spot. But like I said, this game is going 7 series. It's going to be a lot of trash talking. With the Phoenix Suns, you got Steve Nash, who is an amazing player. Amari Stoudemire, Grant Hill, who's shown like the old Grant Hill back in the day this year. I mean, he hasn't been injured, which is good. You got Barbosa coming off the bench. You got Boris Diaw coming off the bench. And then, with that trade they did with Shaq, I mean, I think they got the bad end of the stick. I think they should have kept Sean Marion, but what's done is done, and they got Shaq now in the playoffs. Shaq has been doing good. He's been putting up decent numbers. So, like I said, they can do good things. But San Antonio Spurs, I mean, they're your reigning champions. You got Duncan, you got Parker, you got Michael Finley, Bruce Bowen. Hopefully, Ginobili gets healthy. Like I said, if he gets healthy for a couple of games, then this should be a very, very good playoff series. I'm going to go ahead and pick. Don't bet against, kind of like what Nightmare Baller said about the Patriots. I won't bet against the Spurs right now. I'm picking the Spurs in 7. Like I said, it should be a great, great series. And then we go to the last series, Utah Jazz versus the Houston Rockets. I said right now the Jazz are really good. Houston, they suffered a lot with the loss of Yao Ming, but they do have Tracy McGrady. Remember, they did win 21, 22 games in a row, so that's showing a lot. this series. I'm not really into it because I wasn't really into it last year. I'm hoping that McGrady can get to the second round finally. But this Utah Jazz team, they're pretty fierce. Darren Williams, I really like him a lot. So only time will tell. But like I said, this should be a very, very, very good first round. You'll see a couple of series go 7 games, a couple go 6. But yeah, very, very good basketball to watch out for. Instant Classic 89 out.